Welcome children. Today we continue with chapter 5 of civics for standard 9th, working of institutions, and this is the second part of the lesson. Now children, a country needs political institutions to take decisions regarding the welfare of the people, and these institutions then formulate laws, policies and programs. It also needs an institution who is going to implement these laws, and the decisions which have been taken have to be implemented. Okay, and they also need an institution which sees that these laws are maintained and followed, and whether they are in accordance to the constitutions. So there are three important institutions in most of the countries. They are the legislative, that is the parliament, then we have the executive, that is the government, and the judiciary. Today we are going to learn about the legislative. So children, this is the picture of our parliament where all kinds of laws, policies, programs and decisions are taken for the welfare of the people of the country. In all democracies across the world, parliament is an assembly of elected representatives whom the people have chosen, and they exercise supreme political authority on behalf of the people. And India, such a national assembly of elected representatives is called parliament, and the members who are chosen are called as members of parliament or MPs. Now, what is a parliament? The word parliament means place for discussion, and the parliament is the highest law-making body in the country. It controls, guides and informs the government, and it is the highest forum for discussion and debates. The parliament all across the world have been given different names. Indian parliament is called as Sansad, Russian parliament is referred to as Duma, German parliament is referred to as Reichstag. Now, why do we need a parliament? Now, as I told you, parliament is the final authority for making laws in the country. This task of law making or legislation is so crucial that these assemblies are called as legislatures. And parliaments all over the world can make new laws, change existing laws, or abolish existing laws and make new ones in their place. Okay, and parliaments all across the world also exercise some control over those who run the government. In some countries, like our country India, this control is direct and full. Those who run the government can take decisions only so long as they enjoy the support of the parliament. Okay, and the third is parliament controls all the money that the government has. In most countries, the public money can be spent only when the parliament sanctions it. Okay, only if the parliament agrees, then only the government can use the money. And parliament is the highest forum of discussion and debate on all public issues and national policies of the country. And parliament can also seek information about any matter. Now, the parliament consists of the president and two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. The parliament consists of two houses or chambers. Now, in India, they are called as houses. Now, the two houses are Lok Sabha, which is called as the House of People, and Rajya Sabha, which is called as the Council of States. The Lok Sabha is also referred to as lower house, and Rajya Sabha is referred to as upper house. And the members of the Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people, whereas members of the Rajya Sabha are elected by all the members of the legislative assemblies. Okay, so the members in the Lok Sabha are 545, and maximum number of members in the Rajya Sabha are 250, but presently there are 245 members. Now, the President of India is also a part of the parliament, although he is not a member of either house, and that is why all laws made in the house come into force only after they are signed by the President. Now, let us see how the members of the Lok Sabha are elected. They are elected directly by the people of our country. Okay, first of all, the entire country, which has so many states, are divided into small units for the purpose of elections called constituencies. Okay, and this depends on the population of each state. Now total seats in the Lok Sabha are 545. Out of that 545, 543 are directly elected by the people and 2 are nominated by the president who belong to the Anglo-Indian community so that they are properly represented in the Lok Sabha. Now once the constituencies are decided, then the political parties put up their candidates from each constituencies, people vote, and the party which gets more than 50%, that is half of 545 is 272 and one more is required to get that majority. That means 273 seats are required, and whichever party gets that magic number of 273 will form the government, and they work for 5 years, and these members will sit in the Lok Sabha. They'll be called as Member of Parliament or MPs. As I told you, all political parties contest elections, and after the elections the votes are counted. Like here, party A we can see gets 50 votes, 50 seats, party B gets 320 seats, party C gets 125 seats, and party D gets 50 seats. So who is the winner? Obviously party B, because it has secured the magic number of half of 545 plus 1, that is 273 votes, and they will form the government. So party B will form the government. Sometimes this happens when no party gets a clear-cut majority. Some parties then come together to form a majority so that they can form the government. Now you can see here, nobody has got the magic number of 273. Party A has got 150, party B has got 200, party C has got 120, and party D has got 75 seats. So in such a condition, other parties will get together, like party A, C and D will get together, and their total will be 340. Now together they will form a government because they have already got the magic number more than 273, and when 3 parties or more parties join together, that kind of a government is called as a coalition government. Now, how are the members of the Rajya Sabha chosen? They are elected by the members of the Legislative Assembly. When we have state elections, we also elect our MLAs, and once they form the government, they elect all the members of the state, of various states. They vote and elect members to the Rajya Sabha, and that is why the Rajya Sabha are called as the representatives of state or council of states. Now, how many members will the state send? That is also decided on the population of their place. Like Andhra Pradesh will send 11 members to the Rajya Sabha, Goa will send only 1. Now, Rajya Sabha, there are 250 seats. Out of the 250 seats, 238 are elected by the MLAs of all the state legislative assemblies, and 12 are nominated by the president, who are very good and excellent in their field of art, science, literature and social service. Now, Rajya Sabha is a permanent house, and 1/3 of its members retire after every 2 years, and new members are elected. Okay, each member gets a term of 6 years. The Parliament is the final authority for lawmaking. The Parliament makes new laws, removes existing laws, replaces existing laws with new laws depending on the need of the hour. So let us see how laws are made and passed in our Parliament. Now, which of the two houses is more powerful? It might appear that the Rajya Sabha is more powerful since it is called as the upper house and Lok Sabha the lower house. But this does not mean that Rajya Sabha is more powerful than Lok Sabha. Now, our constitution does give Rajya Sabha some special powers over the states, but on most matters, the Lok Sabha exercises supreme power. Let us see how. Any ordinary law needs to be passed by both the houses of Parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Now, if any ordinary law that has to be made, first a proposal has to be initiated in either of the house if it is an ordinary law that has to be made, and this proposal is called a bill. Now, suppose it is initiated in the Lok Sabha, then in the Lok Sabha first discussions will be made or regarding that bill, and 3 readings will be done. It is called as the first reading, second reading, and third reading. After everything is done and decided, yes, that they should go for the law, then voting is done. When it is passed by the 2/3 majority, then it is sent to the Rajya Sabha for its discussion. Okay, and then the same procedure goes on in the Rajya Sabha. Again, there is discussion in 3 readings, and if they feel that this law has to be passed, then they send it back to the Lok Sabha, and the Lok Sabha then sends it to the President for its signature. The President can go through the bill, and if he wants some suggestions or some recommendations, he sends it back to the Lok Sabha. But if the Lok Sabha doesn't make any amendments, now the President has to sign the bill. Okay, so this is how it is done. It can, ordinary bill can initiate either in the Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Okay, now if the Rajya Sabha does not like the proposals made by Lok Sabha, it can always give its recommendation and send it back without voting and passing the bill in House. Okay. Now let us see in the case of a money bill. The money bill can only be initiated in the Lok Sabha. So the budget of the government or any other money related law can only be initiated in the Lok Sabha. And once it goes to the discussion and it is passed, then it is sent to the Rajya Sabha. Now, for the money bill, the Rajya Sabha can only suggest changes and can delay it by 14 days. Okay, then it has to go back to the Lok Sabha. The Lok Sabha may or may not accept these changes. Okay, and then the bill is sent to the President for his signature and it becomes a law. Now, at times, if the bill has been passed by Lok Sabha and not been passed by Rajya Sabha, then in such a situation, the President calls for a joint sitting where both the members of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha sit together and vote on the bill. And as you know, there are more members in the Lok Sabha, so the bill will be passed, and once it is passed, it is sent for the President for his signature and the bill becomes a law. So you see, children, that Lok Sabha is more powerful than Rajya Sabha. Especially regarding the money bill, it can only be introduced in the Lok Sabha, it cannot be introduced in the Rajya Sabha. Once the bill is passed in the Lok Sabha and sent to the Rajya Sabha, the Rajya Sabha can only do 2 things: delay it by 14 days or suggest some changes. But it is not binding on the Lok Sabha to accept the changes, and the bill, it is then passed and sent to the President for his signature and it becomes a law. Now, regarding ordinary bills, also Lok Sabha has an advantage. If Lok Sabha agrees on the bill and the Rajya Sabha does not agree, then the President calls in for a joint sitting. And whenever there is a joint sitting, obviously because there are more members in the Lok Sabha, the bill will be passed. There are 545 members in the Lok Sabha compared to 250 members in the Rajya Sabha. So automatically the bill will be passed and then it's sent to the President for his signature and then becomes a law. So we see both in ordinary and money bill, Lok Sabha is more powerful. Children, who is the head of the government? Yes, it is the Prime Minister. Now, the Prime Minister can remain the Prime Minister only till he gets the support of the majority of the members in the Lok Sabha. The Prime Minister, if he does not have the support in the Lok Sabha, he has to quit. And the Rajya Sabha does not have this power. Children, with this we come to the end of this part of the video. In my next video, we learn about the executive branch of the government. Till then, do view and subscribe. Thank you.